Good evening, good evening, good evening. Let me clear up my little desk. Am I live? Good evening, everyone. Y'all went and checked out Tab at Target and got my little cup. Got my little cup for Tab. So, it's my first time seeing y'all all year. How you guys doing? So I am going to do Tip Tuesday, really quick live on Tuesdays, answering a lot of the questions that I have been getting in my DMs or questions that I have to go over through a lot in my consultations. Okay, so since it is January, new year, a couple of things that we should try to pay attention to is one, you want to make sure that all of your contracts are updated. Okay, so if you have formed your new LLC, if you changed your name, if you have changed, maybe we now have a new business address, anything that is new with your business, you want to make sure that we have updated that on our contracts. Okay, if you just formed your LLC, you want to make sure that whatever is the virtual office that you use for your LLC, that we are making sure that we are making all of our monthly payments for that virtual address, so that when you do receive mail from your Secretary of State, that you're going to be able to receive that mail. Sometimes if you forget to pay your virtual address bill, then they will not receive the mail for you. Okay, so either you want to make sure that our virtual address bill is paid, or if we have moved, you want to make sure that on your contracts, on your EIN, on your LLC documents, that everything has been updated. Okay, so January, kind of go through all your legal documents, make sure that all your information is current. Another thing you want to do in the beginning of the year is, if you have some kind of business insurance, you want to make sure that you are reviewing that policy. A lot of times we may have bought more inventory. You may have bought some new equipment. You may need to increase maybe your coverage amount. You may want to increase your policy limit. So January is a good time to kind of go over our insurance coverage to make sure that we have enough coverage. January is just a good time to kind of just make sure all of our ducks are in a row. Do we have at least our 2 or 4 business bank accounts? Do we have our online banking set up? Do we have our QuickBooks set up? I'm going to try to do a Tip Tuesday with a CPA and kind of go over, different ways of keeping up with your records, your receipts, how to, put everything into QuickBooks, all that good little stuff. Okay, so January, kind of make sure that you have everything up to par, everything updated, so that you're ready to go for the new year. If you are trying to, you're thinking about forming an LLC this year, January will be a great a great month to go ahead and knock that off and start. Just so when different projects or different things, come available throughout the year, you're already locked and loaded. You're already ready. Okay. So one of the questions I've been getting a lot in my DMs and in my consultations is going to be about what state to form an LLC. Do you need to form it in the state that you're in? Do you need to form it in a different state? So you can form an LLC wherever you want to form an LLC, okay? It's going to be more simple and more cost effective to form the LLC in the state that you are in, okay? Because that means you only have one filing fee, you only have one annual report, you only have one LLC annual fee. If you want to form an LLC in a different state, you can. However, you're going to have to register that LLC as a foreign LLC in the state that you're doing business in or where you're residing. And then that's going to be another filing fee. And then we have to keep both LLCs active. We have to pay both annual state fees for the LLCs. A little bit more bookkeeping, a little bit more admin costs, okay? So if the benefit of forming your LLC in a different state outweighs that cost, great, do it. If you want a more simple entity structure, then I would say form your LLC in the state that you're in. Now, wherever you are making your money, that is where you're going to pay taxes, okay? So you can't form an LLC. Okay, so let's say I'm doing business in New York, but I form my LLC in Texas or Florida because there's no state tax there. Well, wherever you're doing the business, that's where you're going to be paying taxes, okay? Think about the NBA or the NFL. If I am paying for the Houston Texans, but I go play my game against the New York Giants, the NFL's paycheck is going to be paying New York state taxes because that's where the money was earned. Okay, so you can't form an entity to avoid paying those state taxes. Wherever the money is earned, that's the state that you're going to be paying taxes in. Okay, so if you have asset protection reasons and amenity reasons as to why you want to form an LLC somewhere else, great. But you can't form an LLC in a different state trying to avoid taxes because taxes are going to be paid in the state that the money is earned. Okay, so if you have an online business, your presence is going to be wherever the headquarters is. So wherever you are, your warehouse, your home office, wherever that is, that's the state where you'll be paying taxes. So number one question is, what state to form your LLC in? Another question I've been getting a lot this past week is going to be about trademarks, okay? I don't believe in filing a state trademark. I think that is a waste of money because you're only going to get that protection in that state, and then the LLC kind of does the same thing and it's cheaper. You want to get a federal trademark to protect your name in the US of A to make sure that no one in any other state can use your business name or your business logo if that's what you're trying to protect, okay? Like I said, a trademark is going to be a little bit more expensive. You're looking maybe around $1,500 to $2,000, depending on how many different classes of protection do you want, okay? And it's going to take about a year to get done. So it's not going to be as fast as an LLC. Speaking of LLCs, if you have filed your LLC with me, a lot of these states have been dragging, okay? We went through Thanksgiving, then we had Christmas, then we had New Year's. I am seeing a big delay in getting paperwork back from the Secretary of State. I have tried to email everyone updates. If you haven't gotten an email, maybe check your spam message, but there is a delay in as far as how fast the Secretary of State is turning over the LLC paperwork. But a trademark is going to take you about a year to get done, okay? So what state to form your LLC? I always say it's more simple to form in the state that you're in and going to be doing business in. Second popular question is trademarks. Third, make sure in January that you are making sure that all your information is updated. If you've gotten a virtual address, make sure you update your EIN number. Make sure you update your information on your LLC documents with the Secretary of State. Now, for banking purposes, most banks are going to require a physical address. A lot of banks will not allow a virtual address due to all of the federal banking laws, so you probably cannot update that, but you want to make sure that on your contracts, social media sites, your websites, that all your information has been updated. If you've changed your name, that's updated. If you have insurance, check your policy limits, your policy coverage. You may need more coverage. If you've bought more inventory, you have a bigger building, you may have bought some equipment. If you have any kind of commercial vehicles, you want to check your coverage to make sure you have enough, because every year our business is going to be growing, making more income. That means that we're going to probably need to have more protection, more asset protection, more liability protection. We just kind of need more coverage. Okay. Another question I've been getting a lot, and I kind of wanted to go through, is making sure that our LLCs are active. Okay. I've been having a lot of consultations with different clients, and they haven't filed their LLC annual report. Once your LLC gets inactive, it's kind of like a process that you have to go through to get the LLC back active. Okay. While your LLC is inactive, you're not going to be able to open up any kind of bank account. If you're applying for any grants, sometimes the foundation or the organization is going to check your state's Secretary of State or your state's website to make sure that you do have an active LLC. If you are applying for any kind of loans or credit via business credit, they are going to check with your Secretary of State to make sure that your LLC is active. So if you have not filed your annual report, contact your Secretary of State or whoever is that state department that does those reports to make sure that you get that report in, and whatever is your state's fee or late fee, just get that in now. Because once it goes defunct, once it goes inactive, a lot of times it's a process to get it back active. I've been doing several in Texas, and for some reason, it's just been like a delay. Like everything is just dragging. And you don't want to, not be able to apply for grants, not be able to get funding for business credit. You don't want to be able, you don't want your business stopped for any reason because you have an inactive LLC, okay? If you need help filing your LLC report, you can ask your Secretary of State, or you can send me an email. I can do it for you, but you really want to make sure, 2023, that we are starting, with our active LLC. Active LLC, our business bank account. Remember, we need to at least have 2 accounts. One for your income, all the money comes in. Your second one's going to be for your expenses, all the money going out. That is going to help manage your cash flow. It's very hard to manage cash flow when money's coming in and going out at the same account. And so a lot of times we may overspend. We may get, negative bank balances because we kind of mismanage that cash flow. And one of the requirements for business funding is going to be no negative daily balance for the last 4 months. Okay, so we don't want to throw off our funding opportunities because we kind of mismanage our banking, for one day, because it's really hard to manage an account with money coming in and money coming out. So I always say at least have 2 bank accounts, preferably 4. Income, expenses, payroll, and then tax and savings. That way it's easy to kind of see where your money is. It's easy to really save. You can kind of stash money away. So let's say January is a big month for your industry, okay? So in January, we know, let's just say if I'm normally doing $10,000 a month, this month I do 30 because January is going to be a heavy month for my industry. Well, I can take that extra 20. Maybe I'm going to put 10 away in my tax savings account, and then maybe I put 10 in my payroll account. On your skim months, you may not be able to make payroll, or on your skim months, you may need some help in making your rent. So when you're able to stash money aside in the different accounts, it's kind of easier to see, I have a little overflow. Cash flow wise, what you want to get yourself on is when you are a month ahead, meaning when I ended up December, I can pay all my bills in January on the 1st. I have enough for payroll. I have enough for rent. I have enough for inventory. I have enough for expenses. You want to be like on a month behind in cash flow. You don't want to be on that week to week, sometimes day to day cash flow schedule. So on our heavy months, we got to put the money aside. We don't need to spend it on excess stuff. We don't need to just blow it. Ooh, I finally got I finally got a big month. Let me go reward myself. You really want to put that money aside for those skim months because you want to be able to build up your cash flow to be able to sustain yourself a month behind. So how do I explain it? So I'm in January. So my January money is to knock out all my bills in February versus what's today's date? January 9th, I'm knocking out bills for January 10th, 11th, and 12th. You want to get yourself a month ahead cash flow wise, okay? We get a lot of times when we overspend on the heavy months, we get behind on the skim months. And every month, every industry has months where we're going to be heavy cash flow and we're going to be skim cash flow. Okay. So having multiple bank accounts is going to help you going to help you save, going to help you stash. And you ain't got to save $10,000 a month. If we have an extra $1,000, put $500 away, save $500. You know, just making those small adjustments is you want to just get into the habit of putting something away, stashing something. Okay. If you can't manage an extra $1,000, you're not going to be able to manage an extra $10,000. It's not the amount. You want to be able to manage that increase. Okay. So if I made an extra $100 a month, am I going to the mall? Am I going to happy hour? Or am I training myself to stash that extra 100? Okay. It's not making more money isn't the answer. Knowing how to use the money, knowing how to save the money, that is the answer. Because if you don't have those, if you haven't developed those skills or that discipline now, if you won the lottery tomorrow, in 5 years, you're going to still be broke because you haven't learned the skills of managing cash flow, whenever it's heavy, putting things away, discipline, not splurging, knowing how to, zig and zag, knowing what to do. That's what you want to learn. And it's easier to put away $100. And once you get accustomed, to putting away 100 here, 100 there, as your cash flow increases, it'll be easier for you to put away $1,000, okay? Because you're learning that discipline. Same thing with tithing. If you can't tithe on $100, you definitely won't be tithing on $1 million. You have to get accustomed to that principle of actually doing it. Okay, so money management, you don't get money management by making more money. You get money management by learning the actual skill, the actual discipline. So January, though, for most industries is going to be a skim month because everyone, has just balled out for Christmas. Everyone has just turned up for that new year. And now everyone's just kind of, trying to get their mind together, recoup, kind of get back into the swing of things. That does not mean that we are not getting ready for our money season because February, March, April are normally a big season for most industries because income tax money, the economy is going to be increased. People have excess money to spend, and 9 out of 10 times when people have excess money to spend, they are going to spend it. Okay, so whatever marketing campaign you're thinking about, whatever, sale, promotion you're thinking about, whatever product that you're thinking about, January is a great month to kind of get all that together to go ahead and launch in February when people have these checks. Okay, people have these checks. They're trying to spend money. They're trying to, educate themselves. They are looking to whatever they were planning on doing when they didn't have the money. Now they're executing it. Okay, so use this downtime. See, I don't like to say the word slow. It can't always be busy. If you're busy, all 12 months out of the year, you're not going to have time to plan. You're not going to have time to assess what's going on in your business. And you're not going to have time to kind of just be creative and think outside the box. Okay. So if for your industry, if January is more of like an average month or a slower month, use that time to put a plan. What kind of marketing or what kind of program can you release, or what can you do for February, for March, for April? What new connections can you be out right now making? If you're normally busy in February and March, you probably don't have that much time to network. So January, you should be networking. What other business owner can you be partnering with? Remember, I always say, never just walk up to someone asking for a contact, asking for money. We always want to rub their back, put some money in their pocket, or make them feel warm and fuzzy inside first. So if I am a construction company that does like a lot of remodels, I may be wanting to partner with a realtor. Why? When people are selling their home, they're always having to fix up something, repaint something, update something. So let me go on ahead and maybe send some Starbucks gift cards. Let me send some Krispy Kreme donuts to the office. Let me, offer to, let me go send lunch to, a couple of realtor offices, with my business card. Hey, I'm sure you already have, a construction company that you work with. However, if they ever get, overbooked, or if you ever need another one, here's my card, check me out. So use January, besides updating contracts, making sure that all your information is current, making sure that you have your correct banking and your LLC, all that good stuff. Use this time to go out and shake some trees, make some connections. You know what I'm saying? Talk to some people, network, get out of the office, go out to the streets, make some noise, walk around, go to another business that may be similar to your business. How do you like their marketing? How do you like their office layout? How do you like what they're doing? Go to a business that's totally separate from yours, but they have a cool marketing scheme. Like just get out of your normal day-to-day routine and try to help yourself think outside of the box as to what can I do different in 2023 for my business, okay? How can you switch up your marketing? How can you switch up something on your website? How can you add a new product or a new service? How can you maybe bundle something together? Use January to kind of let those creative juices flow. My problem is they keep flowing, and they flow on like 8,000 different journals. Okay. So it's good to have one little journal or keep it in your notes. I use, I like to have stuff everywhere, and that's my ADHD kicking in. But, if you write down all your ideas in like a journal and your notes, and you don't have to execute them all in January, but at least you have that brain dump. You have it down. You have it on paper. So, hey, in the first 90 days, I want to execute this. Then in my next 90 days, I want to execute this. At least you have it written down. And then once you go back to your journal, you can kind of cross off, okay, let me try this tip. Let me do this for this month. Let me try this, okay? And so I like to use January as like my little brainstorm. Like, what do I want to, what new do I want to do? What kind of, new marketing do I want to do? Kind of get everything lined up for the year. Because when you start getting busy, when that phone's ringing, when you're working those 12, 14-hour shifts, it's hard to be able to change things or be able to get creative when you're in like the belly of the beast. Okay, so a lot of times use January to kind of prepare yourself for the year. Getting a calendar, digital calendar, paper calendar, whatever is your flavor, map out in writing your 30-day goals, your 60-day goals, your 90-day goals, your 6-month goals. Map those out so you can actually see them and not forget them. Okay, so influx is coming. You want to be able to get ready to, maximize it, but you want to make sure that we have our structure together. So Our contracts need to be in order. If you don't have contracts for your employees, for your independent contractors, for your vendors, you want to make sure that you have all your I's dotted, all your T's crossed. Banking, you want to make sure that you have your bank accounts together. You want to make sure that our contracts are updated. We have the proper insurance coverage that we need. And, you know, who can I refer some business to that I eventually want to do business with? You know, who can I partner with that will bring me a different type of clientele? Who can I partner with that may help me see something from a different perspective? Who can I help do something? Okay. A lot of times we're looking to partner someone where we see a benefit, but you know, whatever you dish out is going to come back. So sometimes, you know, you got to think like, well, who can I help? You know, like, is there a new business that I can maybe, you know, send some referrals to? Is there another industry that I'm not really in, but I get a lot of calls about that, you know, I can just start sending things to? You know, always think not so much as to, let me not say not so much. And I'm sure that is so improper English. Don't always, even though we're thinking about who can help us, don't forget to also think about who can you help. Okay. So, you know, it's like each one teach one, like I'm here, but let me not forget where I came from, and let me kind of reach back and, you know, hey, is there a new person in my industry that maybe I could be a mentor to? Is there another person I can maybe send some referrals to? I'm not saying take money out of your pocket, out of your kid's mouth. I'm not saying any of that, but if people are asking you for something that you don't do, well, who do I know that does do that could use some more business? You know, collaborating with people who do different things than you do, but you know, you're scratching each other's back is always a great way to kind of build that nice little business relationship. And they don't even have to be in your same state, in your same city. You know, you may have a person on social media that hey, you know, they're kind of good in this, let me send them some business. Whatever you do is going to come back to you tenfold. Okay. Once you learn that principle, like the more you give, the more it's going to come back to you. It's not going to come back to you where you gave it at. So wherever you plant that seed, it's not going to come back right from that person. So if I scratch Mary Jo's back, she going to scratch my, it doesn't work like that. But whatever you sow, whatever you plant, whatever you do is going to come back tenfold. Okay, so if you're wanting that increase, if you're wanting those blessings, if you did my 30-day, technically 25-day business challenge, you know, 2023 is supposed to be our takeover year. You know, our business is supposed to be thriving in this year. Like, this is our year. We learned all the steps to kind of get our business together. Now it's time to execute it. We can't forget the number one principle: give, 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 give. Giving doesn't have to be money. Yes, you can give someone money. You can give someone some of your time. You can offer to be a mentor. You can offer to, you know, if someone, you know, offer, hey, I see that you're new in the industry. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to call me, DM me. Giving could be if you have too much on your plate and it's like a smaller case or some smaller business, like, hey, you know, do you want this? Like, learn the principle of just giving. Not giving to receive, not giving to look for anything in return, but the more you give, the more blessings are going to come your way. So you really are giving to receive. You just don't look to receive it right where you gave it, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back tenfold. Like, whatever you gave out, you are going to get more back in return. That's just a principle. So, what are you missing in your business? What do you feel like your business is lacking? What do you feel like you may be lacking as an entrepreneur? Okay, find out or make a list also of what that is, and then where is the course, where is the class, where is the conference, Where is the schooling? Where is the knowledge? Where do you now go and get that? Okay, so you can kind of, hey, I kind of need to, do this, do that. I feel more confident if I had a this or a that. Map all these things out. We're not going to knock them all out in January, okay? But now that we are just getting through the holidays, we kind of have like a little downtime. As a CEO, what do you feel like you need more help in? And then we can write that down so we know, okay, well, maybe I can't afford that. Maybe I can't afford this class this month, but maybe in 6 months I can afford it. Is there a class? Is there a conference? Is there a consultation I can go take with someone? Like, what is the plan so that not only is my business making more money, but I am becoming a better person. I'm becoming a better business owner. I'm feeling more confident in my business because, mind you, we as business owners have to always be growing so that we don't get, stagnant. We don't get complacent. We should always be growing so we can always be expanding our business. If we're the same CEO that we were last year, well, then we really didn't take over 2023 because we have to grow. The more we grow, the more knowledgeable we become in our industry, the more knowledgeable we become in business, the more our bottom line is going to increase because we are now more knowledgeable in our business. We can now help our business grow. Okay, so your business is kind of the business and it's you. So you want to kind of make sure that we are always feeding something into us. Okay. I know on my challenge, I talked about getting your money mindset together. It's rough out here in these business streets. It's a cold world, and every single day you're going to be fighting something. If you're not fighting something in your business, you're going to be fighting something in your personal life or with your family. I mean, it's never just going to be perfect. Okay, that's just life. Business owner, you work a 9 to 5, you don't got a job. Life is just hard in general. Okay, so you want to make sure that every day you are, pouring something positive, into you, so you kind of have a tank, to go off of. If you're empty, if you're drained, and then life slaps you around, you don't have enough oomph in you to kind of fight all that negativity, fight what's going on off. So YouTube videos, motivational videos, books, you can, whatever is your method of choice, that's fine. Just find something positive to re-up every single day so you can go out here and fight all of your life's battles. Okay. So I kind of did a hodgepodge of things tonight, but how I did my 30-day challenge, I'm going to do a Tip Tuesday, a live, where I'm going to most likely focus on one or two topics to kind of help everyone keep going through 2023 to make 2023 their takeover year. Okay. So for tonight, if you just logged in, it's January. January is a good month to make sure all of our corporate documents have been updated. If you have gotten a virtual or a new business address, you want to make sure that your LLC documents have been updated. Your EIN has been updated. You want to make sure that your contracts have updated that address. But you want to make sure that you have active business bank accounts and that your LLC is active, meaning that you have filed your annual report and paid your state's fee for your LLC. We don't want to go into 2023 with an inactive LLC. Besides updating all of our information on our LLCs, you want to make sure if you have insurance that you have enough coverage. Every year as your business grows, your income is going to be increasing. You may have bought more inventory. You may have bought more equipment. You may have bought some more vehicles, whatever the case may be. You want to make sure you have enough coverage. There is something called being underinsured, meaning if someone were to come in and break into your business, do you have loss of business insurance, meaning they're going to still pay you while your business is down. Do you have enough coverage to cover if someone came and took all your inventory? Do you have enough coverage if someone came and stole all your equipment? Okay, so you want to discuss with your commercial insurance agent your policy limits and your coverage amounts, because every year normally your business is growing, so you probably need to increase your insurance coverage. If you don't have business insurance and you have a brick and mortar business, you're doing some kind of service on someone, you need to be speaking to a commercial insurance agent to make sure that you are covered, okay? So insurance is kind of like your first line of defense, your first layer of asset protection. Like, you need to be covered in amount that will cover whatever assets, whatever equipment, whatever, your risk level is. So updating our address with on our corporate documents and our contracts. You want to make sure that you have your insurance. If you have an LLC that is an out-of-state LLC, you want to make sure that you have registered that LLC as a foreign LLC in the state that you're doing business in. You cannot set up a Delaware LLC and be doing business in Texas and you haven't registered the LLC in Texas. If something goes haywire, if you get sued for doing something in Texas, the first thing the attorney is going to want to do, they're going to go to that Secretary of State to make sure that your Delaware LLC has filed to be a foreign LLC in Texas. If you have not filed to be that foreign LLC, then you are doing business in a state that you are not registered to do in. That is going to affect your limited liability protection. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're doing business correctly, so that all of the things, and while we're setting up our LLC, we're trying to have our asset protection. You don't want to get sued and realize I did all of this for no reason because I forgot this step. Okay, so we have our address is updated on our corporate documents, on our contracts. We're checking our insurance coverages. We're making sure that our LLCs are active and we are registered to do business in the state that we're doing in. You want to make sure that you have your operating agreement for your LLC. That's the contract for your LLC that dictates what laws are going to apply to your LLC. If you are to get sued, that's also a document that they're going to subpoena for you. Okay, so most states don't require you to file an operating agreement anywhere. Just keep that with your other LLC or your other corporate documents in a file, in a place where you know where it's at. That way, if something were to happen, all your I's are dotted, all your T's are crossed. Okay, so January, those are going to be like the housekeeping things that we need to do. You want to also make sure that if you're planning on doing something this year, go on ahead now and form that LLC so you can at least already have it ready and going. So form the LLC, get the EIN, get your operating agreement, get your business bank account. So when an opportunity comes in 2023, because mind you, this is going to be our takeover year, you're already ready to go. You don't have to now wait and then just file an LLC. You can also already have this LLC ready to go so you can start aging. Most for business credit, we like a 1 year, 2 year, at least a 1 to 2 year old entity. So, forming it now is a great way to already have it. So when that next opportunity comes, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Okay. So this will be my Tip Tuesday. I am going to post, I'll post on my page and in my stories on Tuesdays. On some Tuesdays, I'll have it to where, you guys can kind of give me different topics or different questions you have, and I will answer those questions when I come on live on Tuesday. Okay, so I'm not doing my 30-day challenge. However, I am going to now be doing Tip Tuesdays every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, just kind of either answering questions from my DMs, answering questions from my consultations, and then also kind of giving you different business tips so that 2023 can be our takeover year. Okay, so once again, Everyone have a great night, and I will, of course, see you at the bank.